Hello, I'm Campbell Vaughn. I'm a local landscape architect in Augusta, Georgia. I have a business which is called Campbell Vaughn Design Group, and I focus on residential redesign. I'm a plant person. I really enjoy plants, and what I want to do is to give you an idea as a beginner of what are the best plants to choose. When we talk about plants, we would talk about deciduous, evergreen, and herbaceous, and a couple other little things, but that's the best way to describe the first two. Deciduous means that the plant is going to drop its leaves, all of its leaves, once a year. Generally that happens in the fall. Evergreen obviously is going to be evergreen. It's going to stay that way year round. You're always going to have the leaves on there. Evergreens do drop their leaves some, but they mainly keep all of their leaf on there. Herbaceous means that a plant is going to die to the ground with a frost, and then it's going to come back up from the ground all the way back up. Tree-wise, we're going to start with deciduous. Flowering cherry is a great one. Crepe myrtle, dogwood, redbud, and a purple leaf plum. These are generally flowering trees. Usually you have some pretty good fall color off of these. They come in different sizes, which would be, anything from a large tree to a faster growing tree to a small tree that's not going to be as fast growing. Some of these tolerate sun, some of them will tolerate a little bit of shade, so you've got some good variety with those. Evergreen trees are always good for your landscape for things like screening, for filling in gaps, for constant shade, for constant screening, and some of the ones that I really like to use are your deodar cedars, which are good here in Augusta, your eastern red cedars, your magnolias, and there's several small varieties, which would be your little gems and your Bracken's brown beauty. Those are magnolias that don't get as large and seem to do well in our environment. Some of the trees you probably want to avoid are the leyland cypress because of some issues they have with blight and being too large. Your Bradford pears tend to have a weak bark and have actually turned a little bit invasive. As for shrubs, there's also we've got evergreens and deciduous shrubs. The great ones, some of the great ones I like, we've got flowering, we've got evergreen, and there's a lot that we can work with. Florida anise is a great shade one. Azaleas, which you've got the encore and the indica types, are nice flowering. Japonica camellias, which are your true camellias. As for deciduous plants, they're good to mix in with your evergreen plants because you generally get a little more bang for your buck with them because they're going to bloom and have more fall color with them and have a little bit more variety in what they do during the years. If they turn to sticks, even you've got your evergreens to do your backup with. Some great ones are forsythias, your endless summer hydrangea is a shade one, your oak leaf hydrangea, which is a shade plant, which is a native that tends to, it's personally my favorite plant. Limelight hydrangeas, which do well in full sun. Snow viburnum is a real pretty one in the spring. It looks like a hydrangea bloom, and it's a good one. Some of the ones I like to avoid are your Carissa hollies, privet, and I hate to say gardenias, but we have so much trouble with whiteflies in them. If you're a low maintenance person in your yard, treating the whiteflies on them seems to be a lot of a challenge. The next part we're going to talk about are some good perennials, ground covers, ornamental grasses, and vines, and I like to say vines with caution. As for evergreen, there's some good ones that would be more ground cover types. Your mondo grass, which is, you've got a dwarf and a standard variety of those. Good ground cover, likes the shade. Cast iron plant, kind of a shrubby plant. It loves shade. It does great in shade, not well in sun. It's a good evergreen fill-in plant. Japanese holly fern's a good shade one. Some perennials I enjoy are Shasta daisies, your Lenten rose, and any kind of irises out there. They've got some great bearded ones as well. Shasta daisy is kind of nice because it keeps its foliage during the winter time, and it's fantastic when it blooms. Black-eyed Susans, lantana, some salvias, and it's hard to beat a daylily. They're just good, tough plants, and that's a good group of the plants that I use for my plant palette. Find out more about gardening and see great garden exhibits as well as great vendors at Sacred Heart Garden Festival at Sacred Heart Cultural Center in downtown Augusta, Georgia. April 22nd through the 24th. For more details, please visit www.sacredheartgardenfestival.com.